Your dog loves everyone in your house. At least, that's what you tell yourself. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Your dog has favorites, and it's not even close. There is a very specific hierarchy in your dog's head, a ranking of every single person in your family, and they update it constantly based on things you'd never expect. The person who feeds them? Not necessarily number one. The person who walks them most? Might not even be top three. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand. And honestly, some of you aren't going to like the answer. Let's break down how your dog actually decides. 1. Your dog picked their favorite person before you even realized it. Most people think dogs bond slowly over time, that the person who puts in the most work gradually earns the top spot. That's not how it works. Research in canine behavioral development shows that dogs form their deepest attachment to one specific person during a critical window, usually between birth and 6 months of age. Whoever was most present, most consistent, and most emotionally available during that period gets permanently wired into the dog's brain as their primary person. This is why so many families are confused. Dad feeds the dog every day. Mom takes them on long weekend hikes. The teenager plays fetch for hours. But the dog follows the 6-year-old everywhere. It's because the 6-year-old was sitting on the floor next to that puppy every single day during those first few months. Not training, not commanding, just being there. And the dog's brain locked that in. Now, if you adopted your dog after that window, don't worry. Dogs can absolutely form deep primary bonds later in life. But it takes something very specific, and it's not what most people try. We'll get to that. 2. Your dog ranks people by emotional predictability, not affection. This is the one that shocks everyone. You'd think the person who gives the most belly rubs and the most treats would be number one. But dogs don't rank humans by who's the most fun. They rank by who's the most predictable. Dogs are constantly monitoring the emotional state of every person in their environment. Their brains are scanning your body language, your tone, your breathing, your micro expressions hundreds of times a day. And what they're looking for isn't excitement or affection. It's consistency. A person who is calm every single morning, who speaks in a steady tone, who reacts the same way to the same situations day after day. That person becomes a psychological anchor for the dog. They are safety. They are certainty. Now think about the most emotionally unpredictable person in your household. Maybe someone who's stressed one moment and cheerful the next. Who raises their voice during phone calls and then baby talks the dog 5 minutes later. Your dog loves that person, but they don't rank them high, because the dog's nervous system can never fully relax around them. They're always partially on alert, reading the room, trying to predict what version of that person is about to show up. If you want to climb the ranking, you don't need to do more for your dog. You need to become more emotionally boring, steady, consistent, the same person every time you walk through the door. That's what earns the top spot. 3. There's a test your dog runs every single day, and you keep failing it. Every time your dog brings you a toy, they're not just asking to play. They're running a relationship test, and most people fail it without having any idea. When your dog drops a ball at your feet, they are offering you something. In dog psychology, resource sharing is one of the most significant social behaviors that exists. It mirrors how wolves share food with their most trusted pack members. Your dog is essentially saying, "I'm giving this to you because you matter to me." Now what happens next determines your ranking. If you grab the toy and throw it immediately, you pass the basic version. But if you ignore the toy, push it away, or say, "Not now," your dog registers that. Not as rejection of the game, but as rejection of the offering. Do this enough times, and your dog will stop bringing you things. They won't stop loving you, but they'll quietly move you down the list and start bringing their toy to someone else. Now watch who in your family gets the most toy deliveries. That person isn't necessarily the most fun. They're the one who consistently acknowledged the offering. Every single time. The person who stopped what they were doing, looked at the dog, touched the toy, and engaged, even for 10 seconds. That's who your dog ranked highest in the resource sharing category. And that category weighs more than you'd think. 4. Your dog knows who secretly doesn't like them. This one is going to make someone in your family very uncomfortable. Dogs don't just rank the people who love them, they also have a stunningly accurate read on the person who tolerates them. Every family has one. The person who says they like the dog, pets the dog when others are watching, but subtly shifts away when the dog gets too close. They stiffen just slightly when the dog jumps on the couch. They sigh quietly when they have to step over the dog in the hallway. You probably don't notice these things. Your dog catalogs every single one. Dogs can detect changes in human body chemistry through scent. When a person feels genuine warmth toward a dog, their body releases a specific cocktail of hormones. When that same person feels low-level irritation or discomfort, the chemical profile changes. Your dog is literally smelling the difference between someone who loves them and someone who's performing love. And here's the fascinating part. Dogs don't resent the person who's faking it. They simply stop investing. You'll notice the dog doesn't greet that person at the door with the same energy, doesn't follow them around, doesn't check on them in another room. The dog has efficiently reallocated their emotional energy to the people who are genuine. It's not punishment. It's resource management. If you're that person in your family and you want to change your ranking, your dog doesn't need grand gestures. They need your chemistry to shift, which means the change has to be real. You can't fake sincerity with an animal that can smell your hormones. 5. The person your dog sleeps next to is not always number one. Most people assume whoever the dog sleeps with at night is the favorite. It seems obvious, but canine behaviorists say it's more complicated than that. Dogs choose their sleeping partner based on a combination of factors, and rank is only one of them. Some dogs sleep next to the person they feel needs the most protection. This is especially common in breeds with guardian instincts. They'll position themselves next to the most vulnerable family member, the child, the elderly grandparent, the person going through emotional distress. Not because that person is their favorite, but because that person is their assignment. Other dogs choose based on temperature. Seriously. Dogs regulate body heat during sleep, and some will consistently choose the family member who runs warmest or who has the heaviest blanket. It has nothing to do with love. It's thermoregulation. So how do you know who the real number one is? Watch your dog during waking hours. Specifically, watch who they check on. Dogs do something called visual check-ins throughout the day. They'll be lying on the floor, seemingly zoned out, and their eyes will flick to one specific person, over and over. While other family members move through the room without triggering a glance, that one person gets tracked constantly. That's the favorite. Not the person the dog sleeps with. Not the person who gives the most treats. The person the dog can't stop monitoring, because losing sight of them feels uncomfortable. Start paying attention today. You'll see it within an hour. 6. Kids almost always outrank adults. And the reason is heartbreaking. If you have children and a dog, there's a very high chance your kids rank above you. And it's not because kids give the dog more attention. It's because kids are unpredictable in a way that triggers your dog's protective instincts. Dogs perceive children differently than adults. Their movements are erratic. Their emotions are enormous and change in seconds. They fall, they cry. They scream with joy. To a dog's brain, a child reads as a vulnerable pack member who needs constant supervision. And that need to protect creates one of the deepest bonds a dog can form. This is why so many dogs will tolerate things from children that they'd never accept from an adult. Ear pulling, tail grabbing, clumsy hugs that are borderline headlocks. The dog doesn't enjoy these things, but their ranking of the child is so high that tolerance becomes automatic. Here's the part that gets to people. Your dog doesn't guard your child because you trained them to. They guard your child because their brain is telling them this small, loud, chaotic creature is the most important thing in this house. And it's my job to make sure nothing happens to them. You didn't ask for that loyalty. It was given the moment your dog decided your kid was pack. 7. You can change your ranking starting tonight. Here's how. If you've been listening to all of this and realizing you might not be number 1, there's something you can do about it. And it doesn't involve buying more treats or adding an extra walk. The single fastest way to climb your dog's ranking is something researchers call cooperative engagement. It means doing something with your dog where you're both focused on the same thing at the same time, in sync. It's not fetch, because that's turn-based. It's not obedience training, because that's hierarchical. It's something as simple as walking together in silence. No phone, no podcast, no talking to someone else. Just you and your dog moving through space at the same pace. Stopping when they stop. Noticing what they notice. Matching their rhythm. When your dog sniffs something, wait. When they look up at you, look back. When they change direction, follow. This kind of synchronized movement triggers the same neural bonding pathways that exist between wolves who hunt together. It tells your dog's brain, this person is in tune with me. We move as one. And in the ranking system of a dog's mind, the person who moves with them outranks the person who moves around them every single time. 10 minutes tonight. No distractions. Just walk together like you're the only two beings on Earth. Your dog has been ranking you every day since they met you. And every day you get a chance to move up. Tonight, take it.